Even though Star Trek Deep Space Nine's Trill character Curzon Dax died in 2367, 2 years before DS9 Season 1 in, Curzon's legacy is felt throughout DS9's 7 seasons and beyond. After the symbiotic Trill were introduced in Star Trek The Next Generation Season 4, Episode 23, The Host, Star Trek Deep Space Nine improved the Trill with DS9's LT Commander Yagia Dax, Terry Farrell, because DS9's Trill symbionts carried the memories of all previous hosts, and Curzon hosted the Dax symbiont right before Yagia. Yagia Dax's personality was influenced by Curzon's, and she knew everything he did. Star Trek Deep Space Nine shows how Yagia Dax is separate from but similar to Curzon Dax, unlike TNG Trill, who were vessels for their symbionts. In DS9 Season 1, Episode 7, Dax, Yagia is not responsible for Curzon's actions in a murder trial, but still honors Curzon's desire to take his secret affair to the grave to save his friend's reputation. In DS9 Season 2, Episode 18, Blood Oath, Yagia isn't obligated to Curzon's oath to Star Trek. The original series, Klingons visiting DS9 Core, John Colicos, Kang, Michael and Sarah, and Colith, William, Campbell, but honors it anyway. Curzon Dax is the 7th and longest host of the Dax symbiont in Star Trek Deep Space Nine's cast. Curzon lived to over 100 years old and hosted Dax for 81 of those years, from 2286 to 2367. As a Federation ambassador, Curzon was heavily involved in peace talks with the Klingon Empire and represented the Federation at the Khitomer Conference. Captain Benjamin Sisko Avery Brooks met Curzon in 2355. Curzon mentored young Ensign Sisko and taught Ben how to enjoy life. Benjamin's friendship and nickname for Curzon, Old Man, carried over into Dax's next 2 lifetimes. Curzon Dax was a field docent for the Trill Symbiosis Commission, who evaluated new candidates for joining. Curzon was as tough on initiates as he was on Sisko, and dropped one candidate, Yagia, from the program. When Yagia reapplied, she requested and received the Dax symbiont. In Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 3, Episode 25, Facets, when Odo, Rene Auberjonois, hosts Curzon's memories during Dax's Trill Giantara ritual, Curzon explains he had been in love with Yagia. At the same time, Odo experiences Curzon's favorite vices: drinking, gambling, and pursuing women. After Curzon's death, either by Jamaharan on Risa with Dax's lover, Arandis, Vanessa Williams, or surrounded by family and friends, the Dax symbiont passed to Yagia. Yagia Dax's early characterization in Star Trek Deep Space Nine was cool-headed and reserved, but as more about Curzon was retroactively established in DS9 stories, Curzon Dax's vivaciousness and impulsivity became a stronger part of Yagia Dax's personality. Despite being the most well-known Dax to DS9 fans, Yagia only hosted Dax for 7 years, from 2367 to 2374. There were no other Trill aboard the DS9 station when Yagia Dax was murdered by Gul Dukat, Mark Alamo, at the end of DS9 Season 6, so the Dax symbiont was rushed to Trill. With travel hampered by the ongoing Dominion War, Dax was transferred to Starfleet Ensign Ezri Tigan, Nicole DeBoer. Curzon's overwhelming personality was tempered by Yagia being Dax's most recent host, but Ezri hadn't been trained and wasn't prepared to be joined. Audiences only got 1 year with Ezri Dax, but if Ezri is still Dax's host in Star Trek's current era, that could change.